Hello and welcome. I'm Atheist Antichrist, and today this video is going to be, well, drastically different than my usual fare, but anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Windows Xtreme Gamer Edition. It's a Windows build. It's of the or the Lite variety. It's got a bunch of stuff stripped out of it, and it's one of the better performing Windows operating systems I've used, and I've used a number of them. Now you may be thinking to yourself, now why in the hell would I listen to the worst gamer on YouTube about computers? Well, I actually have a long history with computers. I've been building them since '97, and I've dealt with every Windows operating system since Windows 98, and actually going further back to even DOS. But I'm a computer technician primarily. The YouTube gaming videos are just something I do for the hell of it. At any rate, Windows 10 is kind of resource heavy. At least it was in comparison to Windows 7. And I've heard that Windows 11 performs better, but I don't really have the hardware for it, I don't think. And, they say that about every Windows operating system, that it performs such and such faster, blah, blah, blah. And it's rarely the case, because every operating system just has more shit packed into it, and it just gets more bloated and heavier every release. So that's been my experience anyway. So I started kind of messing around with Windows Lite builds. The first one I used was Windows Super Lite. No, I'm sorry. Scratch that. The first one I used was Windows Ameliorated Edition. And it was a good operating system. It did perform better than the standard Windows 10 build, but it had a lot of issues, basically because they, went to the root of a lot of the cause of system bloat and just tore it out, just from the bottom up. And it just kind of created a domino effect of issues. I mean, they weren't too bad. I mean, I deal with computer issues all the time, so I mean, I was able to work around them. But still, I mean, it could be considered problematic, especially for your typical Windows user. And then I used Ghost Spectre's Windows Lite, and that, though it didn't really perform as well as Ameliorated Edition, in my opinion, it everything pretty much worked in it. And then there's this one, the Xtreme Gamer Edition. And firstly, it does run games very well. And all of the supporting systems, that help with games haven't been an issue. Like, as an example, Ameliorated Edition didn't fully support DirectX, what was it? DirectX 10 or whatever DirectX is post 12. that's supposed to come with it. It didn't really fully support it. I never ran into any issues, but I don't know. I'd heard that there were some people that had some sort of issues with it. But at any rate, this one is kind of in between ameliorated and super light, in that it performs like ameliorated, but it also has a few of the issues. So if that's a concern, like for example, Windows security, the whole security underpinning, Windows Update, shit like that is pretty much non-functional. I haven't actually tried to turn that shit on because I don't use it anyway. And those are things that I generally remove, or I usually stop those services and stop all of that shit from running anyway. And I mean, as you know, if updates are an issue, you want to have the updates. Well, you can run. It's called WSUS offline update, and it's basically a program that will. Where did I put it? Yeah, here it is. WSUS offline update. And you can basically, you run it and it will reach out to Microsoft servers and download all the updates. And then you can actually keep those backed up so that anytime you format your computer, you have all the updates already. And you don't have to wait for them to download. But anyway, so that's one workaround for that particular issue. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, the security center. I don't use that shit anyway. It's just more crap running in the background, taking operations away from the processor that could be spent running games and other things that are actually useful to me. So that's kind of my hot take on the Xtreme Gamer Edition. If you don't mind those couple of issues, I haven't really experienced anything else. It's certainly not as bad as the ameliorated edition. And it's, as far as functionality, it can, I guess, be called worse than Ghost Spectre's Super Lite. But I don't know. I think this kind of hits the sweet spot. It doesn't have too many issues, and it runs really well. I mean, games run great. I get at least 10 more frames in the games I play, which is just enough that I can run my recording software in the background without getting stuttering and shit. So, yeah, there you go. Alright, well, that's all I've got. I'll see you on the flip side.